How many hours a week do you have?
Me?
Yeah, a day. What do you have? 4 tops?
Today I had 4 classes.
4. So you have 4 hours of class.
A little more than that. I have 3 all back to back.
So 4.5 hours of class?
Huh?
4.5 hours of class?
Roughly.
How many hours during a day? It's 24.
I think there's like 5 actually.
Okay, so we have 19 and a half hours, so we get another 8 hours of sleep. Okay, so literally like 12 extra hours in the day.
Put some relax time in there,
Out of the 12 hours that you have? You learned nothing last year.
Hey, don't forget about workout time too.
Okay, 2 hours. So you got 10 left to work with. Right?
Formation, that's another
30 minutes?
feels endless, but
Okay, so we have 8 hours to work with. Right? Chase, you're live. You all right? 9:35. Okay, what are we doing?
Can we ask questions first?
Yep.
Are we related?
Related? We'll say no for now. You're the physician, not related.
What does the family of the 74-year-old say? What did they know about the situation?
They know that they are in a coma.
How long?
How long what?
How long have you been in a coma?
2 weeks.
Is there any brain activity left at all?
Not as far as we can tell, they're in a coma.
Well, you do brain perfusion scans and figure that out.
Right, as far as we can tell, there's no brain activity.
I give him another week to pull it.
A week?
Yeah, I would. Another week to pull it.
Okay.
Do
Who else?
others need a week to live?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how long does the other need to live?
You could probably make that work. Longer than that, probably not going to get it done. They'll probably.
It's not up to the physician.
Huh?
It's not up to the physician.
Why not?
It's up to the family.
Why?
Because the doctor is not the medical contact.
But it says that he is an organ donor.
Yeah, he's an organ donor, but that doesn't mean that doctors can just go pull the plug. Like, they have to get permission from
Yeah, but isn't it after like 3 weeks, it's like a 1% chance that they ever come back?
Well, at some point, there is physician's discretion.
Yeah.
Who? Okay. All right. Let's say they have no family. 74-year-old has no other family. Taylor?
If I was the 74-year-old and someone waited 3 weeks after I had been in a coma with no brain activity, I would be fine with them pulling the plug.
Okay. You want to be a nurse, right? What are we doing here? What are you going to do?
I mean, they're right that it's not really up to the physicians, but if there's no
Why not?
let's say there's no family for some reason, I think that they've run plenty of tests and they would be able to tell like what his odds were of coming out of it.
They're pretty low.
Well, there you go.
Could happen, but they're low.
Yeah, but most people in that situation, like there's some people that would want their body to be kept alive during a coma, but very few.
What are you doing, Taylor? It's not about what others think.
After a week?
Okay, so we're pulling Aristotle's. We're going another week, and then.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
On like about her thing about like the family, like if you were to build a bridge, would you trust an engineer or would you trust somebody who studied it for however long they've been doing it? Like which one would you want? So it's kind of like the same predicament. Would you trust the physician who's been working on it for however long they've been a physician for, or been a doctor for, or would you trust your family who has really technically no knowledge unless the doctor tells them what the percentage is?
Which is a guess, which is why we call it. There's several aspiring physicians and nurses in here. It's called practicing medicine. There's a lot we don't know and a lot we're not good at, right?
I would, I'd probably give it a month. I make it drastic. 'Cause if
Okay, we're not sure that other people are going to live that long. We don't have a month.
that I would say it's not, his life and their lives aren't dependent on each other.
Well, they are.
It's my job to make sure that everyone's kept alive.
Okay.
But I'm not going to sacrifice a life to someone who saw the chance to live.
Okay.
To help other people. Yeah, it's a shitty situation, but I have to keep them all alive. I don't have to sacrifice one life to keep
Okay,
the others alive.
fair enough. Yes, ma'am.
After a certain point in time, the guy in the coma, more than likely his organs would start to
They can, sure, they can, but the body's okay, but he's in a coma. The brain's
But
no.
if you wait too long, then it is possible that he would no longer be a viable candidate for you.
Yeah, it could be, but we can usually keep you alive. Okay. What else? Did you have a question?
I was just gonna comment further on the family part. I mentioned the family because, not because they're smarter than the doctor, but they might have certain beliefs. So like they might
Sure.
think, hey, it's time for Dr. Play God. I'm gonna,
Sure.
Let
Right.
them
The
out.
family can, but
they could be
but it's
like-
not their call.
they
It's your
could-
call.
Yeah, so that's just why I mentioned the family part. Just for-
Okay. So what are you gonna do?
Because I don't, it depends.
On what?
If if there's law that goes into this, that's where I'm going. Like, I don't
And?
even think it would be legal for a doctor to pull the plug.
Sure. But nobody knows, right? Just walk over and yoink.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Done, right? I just saved 5 other lives. Who's pulling the plug? Hannah? Chase? I know Aristotle is. Some of you? Okay, why?
Well, I mean, especially if these other 5 people are all under 45 years old, they have most of their lives ahead of them. Some of them might have small children, you know, and, you know, maybe the 74-year-old has children, but it's more than likely that they're all grown,
Mm-hmm.
and so they can take care of themselves, but these other 5 people may have children, you know, are going to be orphaned at this point, so
Okay.
I don't think that any life is worth more than another one, but it's just all kind of
Hitler or Einstein?
Einstein. You know, okay.
Just had to choose, right?
Okay. At one point,
I digress.
Yeah.
I'm only asking. I'm just
Okay.
playing counter to your point. Lenny?
I wouldn't pull it similar to his reason.
Would or would not?
I would not.
Would not pull it. Okay. Hold on. I want to get to the people who are pulling it first. Then we'll come back. So don't lose your train of thought. Why are you pulling the plug?
Okay, so I have an interesting perspective because I work in an emergency department and I see people die literally every day. Take the organ donor part out of it. I don't even care about that. 74 years old, they've been in a coma for 2 weeks, no viable brain activity. It's arguably cruel to keep them alive on life support after that anyway.
Arguably.
So,
Why not? He's shaking his head. He just completely disagrees with you.
Define cruel. Are you saying they're in pain?
well, there's 2 options.
Hold on, Aristotle.
One, people can feel pain sometimes in a coma. But even if they can't because there's no viable brain activity, they're either wasting resources because they're not going to come back, or 2, they're not going to come back with any sort of quality of life that they would probably want to live. And at some point, you have to make the
But it
decision.
has happened.
That's not your decision to make, that's theirs, in my opinion.
But they can't
Okay,
make
but
the
that's not what
decision.
we're talking- That's not the question.
They cannot make the decision.
Right, they can't make the decision, there's no family around. The decision is, pull the plug.
Okay? Aristotle?
So you brought in faith earlier. So what? And he was saying how it would be cruel or something. And you keeping him alive, you're keeping him from heaven.
What if he's what if he's a shitty person? It doesn't, but you don't know if they're a good or a bad person.
But either way, you're keeping him from.
But you do it every day.
Yes.
We judge people every day.
But I mean, it's not my
But
decision.
you brought in faith though.
Okay, all right. Okay, of the folk now, back to Lenny. Who is not pulling the plug? Lenny. Who else? Who's not pulling? The rest of you just Switzerland. We're not deciding. You have to pick. Okay, Lenny. Why are we not pulling the plug?
So I'm not gonna make the choice on like who lives or dies. Like obviously, if I'm a physician, my goal is to keep everyone alive.
Yep.
Help all of them.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna make that decision like choosing who to sacrifice, like just sacrificing one life for another.
Okay.
I think that everyone's mood would change, like if it was their grandpa or grandma.
Yeah. Okay. What if it is? What if it's your grandpa? You still pulling the plug?
Me?
Yeah. Okay. Still doing it?
Yes, now.
I've had my memories with my grandfather.
Okay. Who thinks 74 is old?
Life expectancy for males right now is 78, I think.
Right now, you can put your hands down. Right now, someone's alive that's going to live to 150. Right now. Who thinks 74 is not old? Yeah, the young, yeah. Okay, some of you. It's really not. Okay, most are going well past life expectancy, right? If you take care of yourself a little bit in this country. Okay, not everybody does, but and cancer and shit happens, right? A year ago, I lost a friend of mine who just went and saw his grave. He was 51 years old with 3 kids, and cancer got him. It fucking sucks. Okay? But life expectancy, if you're a healthy 74, you got a long time left. You might get 20 more years. That's being at grandkids' weddings and stuff like that. Okay? What do we got?
But is he a healthy 74?
He's a healthy 74-year-old.
Right there.
Yeah. Details, not important. What do we got? Last one.
So, this might not be a perfect analogy, but you're killing somebody to save others.
Correct.
So, if there was a terrorist in a building, and you had a drone,
Mm-hmm.
and there was 100 innocent people there,
Yep.
and the terrorist was there.
Yep.
The terrorist is going to kill thousands of people.
Yeah.
So kill the 100 to save thousands.
To save the greater good. It's the same thing.
So that's what I'm like.
It's do you
most
push
say,
you push
no, I
one
wouldn't do that, but then they would do something
but
like
but
this.
if we could go back and if we could go if that person's Hitler, if we go back to give up 100 innocent lives to save millions, what are you doing?
I don't understand that Hitler analogy in here.
He said every life is the same.
I'm
Okay, so hold on. He said every life is the same, but it's not, right? Because if we compare Hitler's life and what he did to, say, Albert Einstein or Mother Teresa or whoever, someone who's done tremendous good and helped people, are they the same?
Well, what I meant is that like every human has a degree of like intrinsic value. You know, like that's a human life. That's
Yeah, he was a vegetarian and a painter, so, you know.
But I mean, they were all a baby in their mother's arms at one point, and
Yeah,
They're
okay,
choices.
and it goes wrong at some point.
exactly.
Okay, all right, we got more of these to do, all right? But I want to talk to you about something, okay? And we'll go through why we did this, okay? Today, we're going to touch on a few very serious topics. Now, those of you who have me before know I usually like to have fun in class, joke around, and give you guys a hard time and all that good stuff, okay? Today, we're going to talk about a couple of very serious topics. If you are genuinely uncomfortable, you do not have to say anything, okay? I've learned this the hard way by what we're about to talk about, okay, which was my fault and a lesson I had to learn, all right? If you are genuinely uncomfortable and you actually need to get out of the room, that's okay. I want you to be respectful of other people's opinions today. I don't expect you to necessarily hold back. I just expect you to be mindful of the words that you choose today. You understand? We're actually going to have a very serious conversation right now, okay? All right, here's the scenario. You are in a library, a public library, okay? And you are a detective, okay? And you overhear a phone call with the librarian at the front desk. Somebody's calling, and they're clearly asking questions about rape. They want to know information. They want to know about laws. They are looking for books and resources about the subject of rape. The detective overhears the conversation. Now, they only hear half of it. They only hear the librarian who's sitting at the desk, who is a woman. Okay? He hears the entire conversation. He walks up to the librarian after she gets off the phone, and he says, I'm a detective. Right? I heard the conversation that you just had. I would like to know the information of the person who just called. What their name was, phone number, any information you have. Because there was a rape in the community last night. And we have no suspects. Do you give that information over to the detective or not? You are under no legal obligation to do so. That person is actually protected. You do not have to give up that information. As a librarian, you can absolutely say, no, I am not giving you any of this information. Okay? Are you giving up that information?
Do you have to say that?
No, you can give up the information, but you are under no legal obligation to do so. You can choose to give it up. You can say, here's the person, here's the phone number. Here's who it was. Right? Here's what they wanted to know. You can give up all the information, but you are under no legal obligation to do so. Everybody is protected. Yes, sir.
Do I, as a librarian, have any suspicion that this person on the phone might have been involved?
You have no earthly idea. There's a million reasons they could have been calling. It could have been a student calling. It could have been an aspiring lawyer. It could have been someone related to somebody who's gone through it. There's a million reasons why somebody's calling, and they're clearly calling a public library to find this information out. Hannah.
Am I able to call the
The librarian?
Yeah, as a librarian, can I contact the person that called me and ask them if it's okay if I give this information?
That wouldn't do much, right? I mean, if they did do it, they would like, no.
You could choose to do that. But let's say they say no. Casey?
I mean, if it was me, I don't see the problem with giving it over. I would
Okay.
just instantly be like, yeah, sure. Because, I mean, if it's somebody that's calling for, like, a genuine interest, whether that's a, like, research thing or some sort of professional or somebody that has, like, gone through something like that, I don't think it would really be that bad on them just to ask them, like, hey, like, is there a reason why you were looking at this? And then them just explaining themselves.
Okay.
But I mean, at the same time, if it was somebody
But we can't call in this scenario. Let's take that out. You're either giving up the information or you are not. Lenny?
I think a big detail as to why I would keep it over is that the fact that they're calling a public library. So that tells me that, I mean, you can't assume exactly what they're going through.
Mhm.
It tells me that they're not as sensitive or that there's, okay, I guess with anyone could have answered that phone or anyone could have overheard it. They wanted it to be.
So are you giving up the information?
Yes.
Okay.
If they wanted it to be kept top secret, they would have not called a public library. It's possible.
It's not really any different than Google. We can figure it out, right?
Do
Yes.
we know it's even the criminal? Like,
We have no earthly idea. We don't know who it is.
And I'm
We
not
just
giving-
know it was a guy.
I'm not giving information.
Not giving up the information. Okay? Huh?
I would say I would give up the information just because if you're not guilty, then there should be no problem with the detective finding out the information, what you're using the information for.
Okay. Who's giving up the information? Who is not? Okay. If we give up the information, it absolutely goes public that that individual, because the media is going to listen to it on the police scanner and hear that we're going to this gentleman's house and we're going to show up and say this person is a suspect and possible committed rape last night. Is that going to impact their life?
Yes.
Whether they did it or not?
Yes.
What do we do in this country with somebody who's charged with a crime? What do we think about them?
Guilty until proven innocent.
We usually think they did that shit, right? Okay? And it's not supposed to be that way. But in the court of public opinion and with social media today, it is first, not correct. Right? It's who can get the word out first, whether it's accurate or not. What do you got?
That would never happen, though.
What wouldn't happen?
You would never, alright, I overheard a librarian talk to somebody, I'm gonna go to their house and charge them with rape.
It's a suspect. You're not charging him. You bring him in for questioning, but it happens every day. The moment we get wind that my neighbor, somebody I know, may have been the one who committed a rape last night that we all heard about, that word is going to get out instantly. That's going to impact their job, life, every element, right? It happens every day. Lenny?
I think if that's the case, then I wouldn't give it up because I would. No,
Who's shifting gears now? Okay, why? Go, finish. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
I would trust the police to do their job in their investigation.
Okay?
I wouldn't, because like you said, it could be someone with good intentions and that could ruin their life. They could lose their job. You know, a lot of bad stuff could happen from there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
I'm kind of big on information privacy, so I don't do social media. I've got a LinkedIn, but like as far as like Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, I don't have any of that. I got rid of it all. I don't like my information out there.
Mhm.
So out of like respect, or I guess my like belief in that, I would not give that information out, regardless of what it was.
Didn't you just say you were going to?
No,
Okay.
I said I was going to withhold it.
Okay.
And I work at a front desk here, like in the LLC, and like we've had people come out and like, oh hey, can I get information on this, or can you tell me what so and so? Like I can't get you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Right. In this case, you can. You can give it up. All right. What else we got? Yes, sir.
So I'm not giving it up, but from the get-go, I agree that in the court of public opinion, you're guilty until proven innocent, which I don't like. But also, you start like an investigation on the person, and a lot of prosecutors in some places are way like overly aggressive, and they'll try to like just slap the
Yeah, and why?
Just to throw somebody in jail because that's their job.
Right, because if we get somebody, then it won't happen again, right?
Right.
What if it's not them? Blake, you want to be a lawyer, right? Where we at?
So, the big thing right now is, so if I was if I was a librarian, I'd be like, okay, come back with a warrant and I'll give it to you. Because they have to show the judge that there's reasonable, like, some kind of reason that
Sure.
they have this information. So if that
Yep.
judge thinks that there a reason, then they're legally covered and then everyone's okay. Now obviously we're talking about the guy potentially impacting his life. I don't really see something that drastic happening. Like if it's just some aspiring law student, the detectives will be like, hey, what's up with this phone call? They're not gonna go busting his door down and raiding him with a SWAT team.
It might.
Not for-
If it's a
not
small,
for-
if it's a small town and they're not a law student, if it's a, because you're from a small town, right?
Oh, yeah.
If it's somebody who's just calling up to ask questions, do you think word's going to get out that somebody's being brought in as a suspect of rape? First of all, small community. Rape doesn't happen very often, right? But somebody got raped last night. And we got one suspect who may have nothing to do with it. Do you think it's going to impact their life?
I don't see it impacting in the long term. I think short term everybody's gonna be whispering, but then figure out, okay, that's not what happened.
Okay, they work at the local mill, the only employer in town, the only big employer in town. Do you think they're still going to be working when this is going on?
Not while it's going on.
What do you got?
I don't know. If it's a small town, I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to like make assumptions, but like I feel like they would be a little bit more like understanding, in the sense of like giving a guy a fair shake, and like if you're just calling.
Who's
in,
from
like,
small towns?
Like, no, well, I'm not.
Do they ever give you a fair shake? They're in your shit all the time, right? It's all rumor mill, okay? Right?
But like I feel
You
like
are more likely to blend in a big city by far, okay, if you're the suspect. If it's small town, word is out.
I just feel like if they call you down though, and I don't know, it just depends on like I guess it's like a situational thing with like the person's reputation, you know? If he's like,
But
it's also
it
like
doesn't
a very
matter.
tarnishing thing.
If you had nothing to do with it and we bring you in, it's going to impact your life.
Yeah, in the short run, but like, what if it's just questioning and like, all right,
The-
we don't have anything here.
You don't think that's going to linger over their head?
Not if it's.
What if they never solved the crime? Aristotle, what do you got?
Nowadays, employees, they'll search up your name on Google.
As soon as you guys interview,
And so, as soon as you get searched up, I guarantee you every single time there are going to be allegations or suspect
Correct.
rape case, and that's going to immediately turn them off. Immediately.
there was a Google search of a sports broadcaster who people didn't like. He didn't do it, but he was kind of a jerk. It was Craig James, and the third thing on Google was Craig James killed 3 hookers. And it wasn't true. It never was even close to being true. But that was when you Googled his name, that's what came up. Okay? Who is somebody's before you? What do you got? What do you got?
So, at my high school, my junior year, like 13 guys got arrested for hazing. Whenever I say hazing, they were like shoving stuff up people's butts. Within like the men's athletic department, so they were sodomizing people. They brought everybody in the athletic department in for questioning. So like I literally had to go in just because I was on the baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go in and get interviewed by Texas Ranger, you know, with like top hat and
Mhm.
like pants, and then freaking, you know, get on the hip, and that messes you up. I did not do anything. Did not. So I did not do anything, and nor was I a victim of it. But like, just being around that like jacks you up, and it like completely messed up like the athletics department. We still had practice the day like 13 guys got pulled out of a giant auditorium, and the baseball coach's son was arrested. And we still had practice that day. He was sobbing like on the bench, and we still had practice that day. We should not have been there, but just being around that, especially in a small town, absolutely messes up your life. And
Okay.
that fucked up the entire year.
We've got more to go through.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, quickly.
We got to think about like if there's a potential that this guy that called could be the suspect.
Correct. Could have done it.
So we are deciding to not give information for a possibility that some drastic measures can be taken by the police, like wanting to break down the door and then have emotional damage from this. We're thinking too complicated. In my mind, I'm like, hey,
Some people are. Some people aren't. Who's giving it up?
hey,
No problem.
Here's the
Right?
here's the name of phone number.
Some of you aren't.
They call them. They're like, hey, why were you calling about this?
Mhm.
They say something suspicious. Let's do this, or well, let's go investigate more. They're like, hey, I'm a lost.
But
sheep.
I don't have to give up the info.
Yeah, well,
So
it's,
you got to do one or the other.
If
You're
you
either
do-
giving it up or you're not.
if you do the aftermath, I don't think it's going to be as drastic as we're making it out to be.
It happens every single
I
day.
don't deny that, but I think that is a larger chance of it being a phone call, hey, and then it's a simple explanation.
I tell you right now, as a detective, you're not going to do it over the phone. You're not going to call them up and have a conversation. You're going to go see the person so you can look them in the eye.
Okay,
Huh.
that happens. I think it would just be a simple conversation.
Okay?
Is it possible to ask for compensation over, like being a suspect, wasting time and affecting our future possibilities? I don't know if that's a lot.
Not compensation. No, you can say no, right? You can make them go get a warrant and all that stuff. You can choose not to participate. You can say, I'm not talking to anybody without my lawyer. Then what do we think? Then what do we think? Guilty some bitch, right? Okay, maybe, maybe not. Right. Okay, we got more to go through. I have points to make. Okay, I don't mean to cut you off because this is great and I enjoy it, but there's more. Okay. Is it right to protect the species inhabiting Arctic National Wildlife Refuge and right to ease the escalating global energy crisis by drilling oil from the habitat? Taylor?
So I've taken quite a few classes on alternatives to oil and things like that, and I think there could be a lot more done in terms of finding alternatives, viable
Sure.
alternatives.
Okay.
And he didn't do things like that.
Okay.
So no, I don't think that's
No to drilling?
no to drill.
Who wants to drill?
Alright, hold on. So are we getting rid of the Arctic National Wildlife?
No.
You can have both.
Who wants to drill?
Wait.
Who wants to drill? Drilling, good. Who does not want to drill? Do you see why they feel that way? I'm not asking you if you think it's right.
I understand why they feel
That's
that way.
okay. Stop, Zani. That's it.
I don't have anything else to
You don't have to like it, but do you understand why they want to drill?
I understand.
Do you understand why she wants to protect the animal? Cool.
All for it.
Okay. All for it. Good. Another very serious one. Is it right to honor a woman's right to make decisions affecting her own body? And right to protect the lives of the unborn?
Oh no.
Where are my Catholics? Uncomfortable right now, aren't we? Okay. Is it right to give women the right to choose what to do with their body? Is it right to protect the lives of the unborn? Don't have to agree, Taylor.
I'm not saying anything.
Just shaking your head. Why'd you sigh, Ryan? Immediately.
Oh, because I went to a Christian high school.
Uh-huh.
Every
Did you guys talk about this a lot?
every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
And I mean, it's still a difficult argument.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it is. Right? Not playing out with COVID, right? The last 2 years. Not as dramatic, okay? But same thing. Get a shot, don't get a shot. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Okay? Is it right to provide our children with the finest public schools available and right to prevent the constant increasing of state and local taxes? No? Says no. You can say no. I don't care. What do we think? Angel, what do you think?
I think they're both right.
Okay, we're good? Right? Who does not want to raise taxes? Who wants great public schools? Okay? Perfect. Good. Is it right to extend social services to everyone regardless of race and ethnicity? And right to pay special attention to those whose cultural backgrounds may have been deprived of past opportunities? Chase, what do we think? We're nodding.
No, I agree both, but it's just they have their past, and they don't want to be judged on their past, but when it help them out. So it's just
Yeah. You don't have to agree with both. I don't care what you think. But you have to understand that people don't agree with you. And it's okay. Right? It's okay to have an opinion on one or the other. Is it right to bench Haynes King, who's caught drinking the night before the SEC championship game, and right to field the best team possible? Yep.
Who's the backup quarterback?
Everyone's dead. They're all. We got. It's Bosch. Who was going to be in the Boast, right? What? Why did we not play in that bowl game? Why did we not play in the bowl game?
Most people gone. We didn't want to lose. We didn't want to lose to nobody's school.
They were like 10-2.
So we blamed COVID.
Okay. Do we play Haynes King or not?
Yeah, I see you take. I was in college.
It's important to know.
What did we play?
But he broke the rules.
Johnny Manziel played.
Yeah, he did.
Why did we play him and then punish him later?
You can. Absolutely you can.
Okay, but
Which happens all the time.
we have rules here too. How many people like break that rule all the time?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Okay. Can you justify it either way?
yeah.
Which one's right? Both. Okay? Both. Right? Is it right to provide social benefits to undocumented workers already in the country? And right to ask taxpayers to subsidize only what is legal?
The first one, no.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, you don't want to.
I think they're both wrong. Shouldn't ask taxpayers to do any of it.
Okay. That's why we pay taxes. Okay, you don't want to give, we're not paying for anything illegal. Okay? Who's fine with it?
Fine with what?
Taylor, you good with it? Okay. Do you understand why she would feel that way? Do you understand why they would feel that way? Okay. Don't have to agree. But you have to understand that people don't agree with you. Right? Is it right to speak up in favor of a minority viewpoint in your organization or club? And right to let majority rule?
If majority rule is fair,
Who are you to determine what's fair? Who determines what's fair? God. Okay, call him up. Okay? Who gets to pick what's fair and who and not? If you think it's not fair, but the majority does, who's right and who's wrong?
I don't know.
It's a pain in the ass, isn't it? Okay, fair. That's fair enough. It's a pain in the ass. I think this is the last one. Oh, this is my favorite. Is it right to condemn the minister who has an affair with a parishioner? And right to extend mercy for him for the only real mistake he's ever made? What do you think? What do you got?
I think honestly.
Okay, good. Switzerland, non-committal. Good. What do we got? Right?
You gotta show everyone like mercy, but like you gotta take him out of his job because you can't have
Why?
someone in that position.
Who's going to let him be the
Basically
minister
a
again?
hypocrite.
Who would let him continue as minister?
I would let him, but like give him a break.
You just said you wouldn't.
No, I would take him out for like a time. Like he can't continue doing. He has to go get help for what he's done. Yeah, essentially, yes, essentially. And then
But can't you just forgive him?
Give him
No,
for his
well,
transgression?
I'm gonna forgive him, but he still has to
No,
work.
you're not, though. You're punishing him.
How am I? Well, yeah. Okay.
You just said
There's
he's out.
consequences for every action.
You can't do both.
Why not? You can't like.
You can,
Do one
but
thing
you
and
either
one
punished
later.
him or you didn't. So you didn't forgive him, right? Without punishing him. What do you got?
Forgive, but punish in the sense of taking him from a position. If an accountant is embezzling, you're not going to be like, oh, I forgive you, you can return to your job. No, you're fired. But I forgive you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold any grudges.
But that's different than what we're talking about now.
So,
It
yeah,
has nothing to do
I
with the
would
money.
say, hey,
This has nothing to do with the money.
I'm just saying that accountant did something wrong, this
So,
minister did something
so you're choosing to
wrong.
punish him.
Yes, but also
Okay.
extend mercy in the sense of I'm not going to hold a grudge. But he is
You
fired.
did, though.
He's fired. For sure.
Right?
I would forgive him and let him keep ministering, but he'd have to like own up to his mistakes in front of everybody.
Okay. All right, let's jump into others, because I like these. All right. Here's where you're at. Your boss, who's a friend of yours, tells you that layoffs are coming. You're safe, okay, but your colleague and friend is going to be let go. Your boss tells you the information is confidential. Do not tell anyone. Your friend comes and asks you if he's going to be laid off. You telling him or not? Okay.
Just to clarify, colleague and friend, same person, not two different people.
Boss is also a friend. Colleague is not the boss, but a good friend.
Well, just in the second line, your colleague and friend is going to be let go, same person.
Correct. Yes.
Colleague
Yep. Yep.
and friend.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So somebody you work with, who you consider a good friend, is going to be let go. Right? You know it. The boss says, "Don't tell anybody." We telling our boss. You guys about Cole hasn't said anything yet.
That's who I'm better friends with.
Why?
That's what my loyalty's like. I'm better friends with somebody.
You're friends with both of them. Okay. You're friends with your boss, and it's your good friend. Who are you telling him or not? Are you telling your friend or not?
I'm leaning more towards yeah.
You're telling your friend?
Yeah.
Okay. Chase?
Are the colleagues and the boss friend?
Doesn't matter. Sure.
Then no.
You're not telling them?
No.
Okay. Why?
Because, well, as life goes on, you might get leverage on the boss.
Okay. Lillian, you had your hand up? Okay. All right.
I wouldn't tell him because I think at that point you're kind of inserting yourself on the situation and the business and when
Okay. So not telling them. Fair enough.
Counterpoint to that, I wouldn't tell him because it's gonna happen either way, and so at that point, why am I gonna get involved and then maybe like draw out this process that for a week he's like worried about it, and then at the end of the week, then he finally gets laid off, but for the whole week he's been stressed about it.
If you tell him, you could help him get ahead of the curve to find another job, though, right, from everybody else.
He'll find one eventually.
Taylor?
So I think if like the colleague is coming and asking you if they're gonna be laid off, they probably know that you already know the answer and you're pretty much gonna destroy that friendship by not telling them because they're gonna get fired and they realize you lied.
But my boss told me not to tell you. Are you telling your friend or not?
Yeah, I was telling.
You're telling your friend, okay? Where you guys at? Telling our friend? No? Angels, yes? Telling your friend? No?
I think it depends on, again, how good friends I am.
Always depends. Are you telling your friend, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, Angel?
Yeah, I'm telling my friend because if I was a colleague and I was gonna get fired, and two of my friends know that I'm getting fired, why the heck don't I know?
Yeah, you would want to know?
Yeah, like, I wanna
Okay.
know.
Why are you not telling your friend, Randy?
I mean, if he's gonna get laid off, he's gonna have like severance pay and stuff, so he's gonna have time.
Fuck him, he'll be fine. Okay? But
Can you answer the question with you should go talk to the boss about that?
yeah, but you're not telling them.
No.
The boss is not going to tell them. So what are you doing? Are you telling your friend or not?
I don't think so.
Okay, Aristotle?
I don't think so. With you guys in that, like, time is a colleague and not a friend. That's how you need to think about it. Is you're not friends at that point. It should be something professional.
Okay? Right?
This is like pretty accurate for me right now because in my outfit, my CO is about to lay off my roommate who's a PL, and he asked me not to tell him, and I'm not going to tell him
Mm-hmm.
because that's like you said, just business between them.
Okay?
It's a good
Lillian?
thing.
Hold on. Hold on.
Is that what your outfit?
Hold on. Can't hear Lillian.
If you do decide to tell him, I feel like the boss can't be mad at you for doing that because,
They told you not to.
well, he's the first one that crossed the being business and then friend.
No. Your boss came to you and said, here's what's happening. Huh?
Are you like your colleagues?
No, you're same level. But you're safe because the boss needs you. You're going to be safe. But because he's telling you layoffs are coming, you're going to be good. I still need you here. You're going to be part of what's happening with the company in the future. So you find out who's being laid off. You have a friend who's in that group.
I don't understand why he wouldn't tell you who's getting off. If you can just say you're staying. He doesn't have to say.
But you have to be a part of what's happening with the company after. So I'm telling you now, here's the people we're laying off. So you can plan and prepare. These people are being laid off. Here's why we're doing it. You're part of the organization. Here's what we're doing moving forward. So you're part of the company moving forward. So you're engaged, and I need your help, right? So really, there's opportunity for you, and you don't lose your job. So look, it's truth or loyalty. Are you loyal to your friend and colleague? You can be. That's fine. Or you can do what your boss told you to do, which is not tell them. Lenny.
I think it's pretty simple to me. If I was getting laid off, I would.
Yeah, who would want to know? Who would want to know if they're being laid off? Who would be pissed if their buddy didn't tell them? Fair enough. Okay, what do you got? Quickly.
The boss is in the wrong here. So.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Why?
They should not have crossed the boundary and said, hey, by the way, your buddy's getting laid off, don't tell him.
It's not about the friend or not. It doesn't matter who your friend is. The company has decided we are laying off these people.
The boss just said, hey, you're safe, left it at that. Not said, hey, you're safe.
But I need you as part of the organization moving forward. Here's who we're losing, here's why, here's what we have to plan for, here's what we have to do. This also happens every single day. The boss is telling you, I'm coming to you and saying, you're part of the solution moving forward. Here's the people letting go. It doesn't matter. I don't even care who your friends are. It sucks.
I think of,
But that's because other people you're not working with, so they're being cut out. No, but there's a reason they're telling you, okay? But it's not about that. They're going to. They're going to. But that's not how it works. That is absolutely not how it works because we have to plan for what's happening. We're losing. All those guys, these 4 guys are gone, right? So I need you to pick up the slack for those 4.
what I would do is I would tell him and then immediately go to my boss and hey, he approached me, I'm not going to.
So you told your friend. You went against the boss. You can't do both.
I'm telling the friend I'm going to the boss and saying, hey, I just told him I'm not going to lie to his face.
Okay. And the boss can turn around and say, you're gone.
Yeah, you can get in legal trouble because you said it was confidential.
So we're talking legal. How is it legal trouble to tell him, but to not tell him, but to tell you?
Because the company has the right to do that. We can fire anybody whenever we want.
Okay, well, if I'm getting in trouble for telling him,
Okay, and that's fine. But you have to pick one because we can't do both.
yeah, I would.
It's like being a little bit pregnant. Okay, you can't. You're doing one or the other. Okay, hold on because we got a couple more. I want to see if you get through them. Okay. It's the mid-'80s, and this is why this is important. Okay, it's the mid-1980s. You run a residential care facility. A nearby hospital notifies you that 5 of your residents recently had surgery may have contracted HIV. The probabilities are low, but the hospital wants the 5 patients to return for further testing. The residents have the right to have their medical information protected, and your facility is expected to continue providing care at a high level. Your staff is mostly hourly, with no special or hazard training. If one of them contracted AIDS or HIV, you would be culpable. If you tell them, they may not come to work. You have the obligation to protect the community from the disease, and you have the right to protect the 5 patients. Are you telling your employees or not? Telling them?
Yes.
Okay. Telling them? Who's telling their employees? Why? Why, Casey?
I mean, if we're all working for this place, we all are responsible for keeping this information confidential, but at the same time, the employees need to know because if that person's gonna need special care, I need to know how to treat them.
Okay.
But I was also gonna ask, how does AIDS spread? I didn't think it was just I touch you and now you have.
No, it's not, but we didn't know very much. This is why it's important. It's the mid-1980s. We don't know as much. We know it's blood transfusion. We're not sure about other stuff. We're not too terribly sure about how it spreads. But we know through blood and needles and all that stuff. Taylor?
I think that a lot of people are forgetting that it's the mid-1980s, and a lot of the people, a lot of the employees, more than likely, are not going to get the same level of care that those people
Correct.
maybe they will, but there's a good chance that they're going to start avoiding them because
They're absolutely going to be terrified.
Know how it spreads.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. Okay. Lenny?
I think if you're going to a job, you have to have a right to know, if there's, dangerous conditions that.
Sure.
Similar,
So are you telling your employees?
Worker, yes, I would be.
Okay.
Because, if you know the job is dangerous, I don't want to be going to the job knowing that that's a possibility.
Right. Who's not telling their employees? Anyone? Because you don't have to. Huh? My man. Okay. You don't have to. Cole, what'd you have quickly?
I was gonna say, is there any way you can say if something going on, they might be sick, but not tell them it's
I love how you guys try to I might hint he's going to be laid off. Then you told him, right? And that's okay, but you can't do both. It's one or the other, right? Another one, short-term, long-term. This is very real. You have a family and your children are nearing their teen years. You recently changed jobs to a company that has a lot of upward advancement opportunity. You notice your children benefit from you being involved, clubs, sports, school activities, and are home more. You realize in order to take advantage of the advancement opportunities at work, you need an MBA and find a program that is on the evenings and weekends. This will negate your ability to be home more. Your short-term commitment to your family will benefit them. The long-term needs for your family will be better served with your education and ability to provide. What are we doing? Huh?
I would choose my family because that's what my mother did. She could have become like a very high-rated professor. She's like currently like a professor, but she's like not doing a lot of hours of teaching. She said that she could have researched, she could have had a lot of more opportunities to further her career in physical chemistry, but she chose her family, and so I just agree with that sentiment. That's what I will also do.
Okay. Brandon, you have your hand up? What are you doing?
I think your kids are going to benefit more from you spending time with them than the financial gain.
Okay, so choose a family.
Yeah, I'd rather teach my kids life lessons and hang out with them than for them to look and go, oh, we were well off, but I never saw my dad.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'm getting the MBA.
Okay, why?
I think that, so my mom went back to school to get her master's when I was nearing my teen years. And even though I didn't see her much for like a couple years, I did still get to see her, so it's not like she was absent. And she is so much happier in her role now. She makes more money than she did before.
Okay.
Overall, absolutely was worth it, and I'm so glad she did. And because of that, I'm gonna take the same approach and say yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I mean, my mom traveled 4 or 5 days a week whenever I was younger, and now she's able to pay for my college, be home every day. So for that short MBA period, for the rest of your life, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, so I think the majority of parents would find more accomplishment in like having this relationship with their kids. Is that wrong?
Majority would be hard to say.
Okay,
Statistically, I don't know the answer, but I bet it's pretty split.
Either way, I would just say I'd stay home for sure because at the end of the day, if I don't have a relationship with my kids, like yeah, they would appreciate that I financially provided for them, but at the same time, they wouldn't really respect me for anything else. They wouldn't really think I did anything for them in the long run.
Okay.
What's the situation with the significant other?
The spouse? It's good, but they're supportive of whatever you're going to do. They're supportive of you deciding either.
Okay, but are they like never home? Are they home a decent amount? Are they stay at home? What's the situation here? If I'm gone all the time and they're stay at home, I think that
They work.
Yeah.
They work.
Okay.
But not as much as you do, so they can be around a little more. It's going to be tough either way. Like you'll get by and you'll be fine, but you're both going to be busy. You're not going to see your spouse as much either. What are you going to do, Kenneth? Hold on. What are you going to do?
I think I'd probably take the MBA, at least for the short term.
Okay. Wait, it's one or the other.
Well, I know, but it's like, presumably that if you take the MBA, you'll be around less until you're done with it, and then, like, after the fact, you might have some more time.
Yeah, you will eventually, but you're going to miss those years.
Right.
The most formative years. And you guys were assholes during those years. Right? You were terrible people. And most of you are good kids. You're still horrible. Right? Teenagers are terrible. Yeah, it was. Okay. Hold on. What do we got? It's all the same people. What do you got?
How long is the MBA program?
4 years.
4?
3. What does it matter? It's multiple years.
Multiple years.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Okay. Think about it. Cole?
I'm saying MBA because if you don't take that, you have those financial stresses that can cause a lot more problems further down the road for more years for your family than it would for the few years that you're in the MBA.
Sure. Look, none of you are wrong. Brandon chose his family. Did he screw up? You didn't even decide. Okay? Is he wrong to choose his family and his kids? No. Are you wrong? Is he wrong to take the MBA? No. What do you got, Taylor?
So I have like wanna be president, but
Mhm.
my mom stepped down from engineering to be a teacher so that she would have like all of the time off that we have. And then my dad was like very involved in the fire department and paramedic, and I will say that I'm a lot closer to my mom than my dad.
It flat out has an impact on everyone. All right. Now, again, you can benefit from paying for college. Right? Not a terrible thing, right? We didn't get the same quality time, right? We lost time, right? What do you got, Ryan? Quick.
Would I be happier if I got the MBA?
This is exactly what you have to figure out. This is the trade-off, Ryan. Am I happier? I make more money. I love my job. It's good. I miss the teen years. I miss some things. I miss baseball games. I miss homecoming. I miss prom. I miss recitals. I miss being around when the boyfriend comes over. Right? This is the trade-off. Okay? I will tell you this is very, very real. This is more likely what you're to deal with. Okay? This is my life. All right? I wanted to teach more than anything. I never thought I'd have the credentials to do it. I make way less money teaching than if I worked in industry. But I love my job and I get to be around my kids more. Right? It's still hard. My wife's a teacher, so we get our summers off. Now, I'm in the Air Force. It's screwed them up the last couple of summers. It doesn't always work out. But I get to see my kids more, and I make less money. Right? I have a friend who, no joke, was making $500,000 a year, absolutely killing it, working his tail off for his job, so that he could be a good provider. The kids were basically done with high school, and his wife said, "The only thing I can say about you as a father is that you're a good provider." After all those years. So he shifted gears. Now, it's late in the game. They were basically done with high school. He gave up that job to choose something where he didn't have to travel and he made significantly less money. It's a pretty harsh thing because it's too late, right? He did what he thought was right. I'm doing what I think is right. Both of us are right and both of us are wrong. Right? It's all a trade-off, but you can't do both. And that is the hardest thing. You will have to decide, am I going to be happier and therefore a better father and husband? Right? Or am I being selfish? I'm choosing my career and I'm missing things, or I'm giving things up, or it's detrimental to my spouse. Right? You guys will have to decide these. And they are not easy solutions. Right? Absolutely not. Okay. One more. You're the chief editor of a paper, and the paper likes to hire good young writers. You hired a talented young writer who comes from a highly regarded university. The young writer produced a soon-to-be-published article in the food section during the summer about blueberries, and you like it. The next day, a very experienced food editor hands you a 30-year-old article about blueberries. It is the same article the young writer gave you. The cardinal sin of journalism has been committed. She plagiarized. Do you choose justice or mercy? What do you got? She's fired? Right?
If this is her first offense, I'd show her mercy and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go back. Take a pay cut.
Okay. You're still punishing a little, but we're giving it another chance.
Yeah, I'd give her another chance.
Okay, Aristotle?
I say cut her.
Fired?
She'll ruin the company.
Okay, she screwed up. Okay. Case?
Cut her as well.
Fired?
If the class can leave.
Huh? We go till 10:35, right? Oh shit, I'm sorry. Yes, sorry. We'll pick up. I'm so sorry. I do that all the time. We'll wrap this up next week and I'll explain everything, okay? So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry for running long.